We've got a quick chart that I need to show you right here. This is the S&P 500 going way back to 1996. As you can see, since 2009, the stock market has really been on a roll, but all rolls come to an end. And any way you look at it, right now it's top-heavy. So if you're relying on your IRA or your 401k to see you through retirement, you may have a problem. The thing is, have you gotten an alternative lined up? If someone is letting loose with an automatic, you might not stick around, would you? Well, you got to get out of the way quick if that ever happens, and Noble Gold is putting this out there as a heads up for you guys right now. You might want to speak to them about finding a place of safety for your money too. You can talk to them today, just 5 minutes, and see if you can bulletproof your hard-earned savings before it's too late. All you need to do is call 877-646-5347 and get protected with a gold or silver IRA today. Again, call 877-646-5347 and get protected, or get the free gold and silver guide below that will answer all of your questions. The link is in the description of the video. The guide and the information are free, so don't wait. All right, you guys, it looks like Spaceshot is ready for the show, so we're going to give him a call. Let me just rearrange my screen right here, and we'll get everybody back on track. I saw that we had some Trump hater in the chat a little bit earlier, and we've had some trolls in the chat tonight. Not a problem. This is America. All of us have the right to have our own opinion. So we're going to get Spaceshot on the horn.
How's it going, brother?
Hey, what's up, Spaceshot? Good to hear from you.
How am I sounding? Nice and clear?
Yeah, you sound great. You sound great.
Beautiful.
All right, so
I had to make a dash.
Not a problem, dude. Not a problem. I know it was a few minutes before I said I was going to call, but that's not a big deal. So I don't know if you heard, but I was talking about the Sal Cincinnati case. And I don't know if you saw my video the other day, but I covered it a little bit then. Have you covered any of the information on this case right here?
I have not, actually. Since I got back from vacation, I've been like double timing it, and Q's been dropping, like crazy. So yeah, I was listening to a little bit while I was in the chat for a few seconds there. Good
stuff. Well, I mean, the gist of it is that Sal was a former Wall Street broker who joined the FBI to investigate financial crimes. He apparently shot himself in a crowded bar in Austin, Texas. He and some fellow FBI agents were out celebrating. And an eyewitness had posted that when he shot himself, there was an FBI agent that ran around from behind the bar. He was dressed as a bartender. And when the shot went off, he ran around, he took off his shirt, and he was wearing an FBI vest underneath. So that made me think that he must have been undercover, right? Because
it had to be some kind of op, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Some kind of op. Now, there was a post that my mom found, which said from Crazy Days and Nights, said that the reason that he shot himself was due to the fact that he was still involved with financial crimes. He was helping to manipulate the currency market with some of his former people back on Wall Street, and he was giving inside information to them. And I was just mentioning The Departed. It made me think of The Departed. That's a great movie. Have you ever seen it?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites. I love that movie.
Yeah. So like,
absolutely great.
What if he joined the FBI looking to do this specifically, become part of financial crimes unit, so that he could give tips back to people still working on Wall Street, so that they would be able to beat the system. Now, somebody said there was also a woman agent undercover. I did hear that as well. Probably multiple undercover agents. But that's the only thing that I can think of that makes any sense. That he must have been under observation. And they must have been on to him, because it would also make it would make sense why he decided to go ahead and take his own life, if that was what he did.
Now, do they have video footage on this? Like, is it pretty cut and dry that he actually did it?
From what I understand, there were many people in the bar who were civilians. There were people who definitely got video, and the FBI had to go to those people and ask them to delete it, or they confiscated it.
Oh, well, where have we heard that before?
Right.
Vegas.
People keep saying bullet to the back of his head. I have not heard anywhere reported. I haven't seen an autopsy. I haven't seen it reported anywhere that he had, been shot in the back of the head. I know that's kind of a meme. That's a common meme. It's that Clinton Arkansas thing. But if he was in the back, then obviously it seems very suspicious to me. Not a suicide. Slim 1776 said spaceship. I think he meant to say space shot. But hi, thanks for that.
Yeah, that's one I use too. Yeah, the guy stabbed himself 10 times in the back and threw himself off a bridge.
Right. Oh, well, tell me.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to ask how the vacation went.
Oh yeah, we had a good time. It was good weather. There was only that one day we had the heat wave. It was scorching, but other than that, just chilling out and relaxing and late night making videos. But it was a good time. But what I was actually thinking, what I was just going to say about The Departed there. I wonder, like you do, about how many people or how many different groups of people try to get into situations like that. Where they infiltrate the FBI or whatever agency it might be. Just to basically come down the line. Like I forgot what the guy's name was, Frank in The Departed.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson. So he was like the head guy. We probably have these people from different countries. Like, obviously we know they were trying to infiltrate our government through the MB, these little coded word, the M Brotherhood. But, I wonder how many different people try to gain access to our government like that in order to do, what they were doing in the movie and so much worse, Oh,
I think you're right on. I think that there is quite a bit of that takes place. The federal government is a huge bureaucracy. There are so many different agencies that people could, find themselves employed in and be able to give back information to criminals on the outside. I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, you got a guy on the inside, just like the movie, paying people off to make sure you don't get arrested for whatnot. But yeah, it's been done for sure. I know they were doing it with the M Brotherhood, and that's just one aspect of it. And then they were talking about, remember a few years ago, they were talking about the MS-13 gang members that were joining the Army for that purpose as well.
I know about the Fort Hood guy. So I kind of assumed that had taken place there. Slim just says, I did mean spaceship. We are on it. You guys are great. Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for clarifying.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a nice comment. I've heard ones that space SHIT, comments and whatnot, but that's a nice one. Thank you.
Oh, man. I just, also, you guys, I wanted to say congratulations to a longtime listener of the show, Lady Warrenon. She was queued just, I believe, 2 days ago. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I
remember reading it.
I was recording the video, and the post had just popped up. I just refreshed my screen, and they showed up, and I was like, "Oh, and here's a post from Christine Polan." And then I click it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Lady Warrenon! How cool!"
That's awesome, man. I'm telling you, you can ask Bree, because I'd be like, "Come on, let's make a meme on this." And I've been trying so hard to get queued. And I'm sure you've heard that whole, alternate theory that, if you get queued, it's a bad thing. But I think we know Lady Warrenon is not a bad person, and I don't think that holds water, that whole theory. Like, if you get queued, it's really a bad thing. I've been trying like hell to get on there. I can't.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's a bad thing. Could Q be showing us particular posts from people because he wants us to dig into it? Definitely. But I think the vast majority of the time when he points something out, he's just trying to show, good information.
Yeah, like, Sean at Corticon had put that link between Chandler and Epstein the other day, which is good. And actually, our good friend Tron over at Patriot News, he had dropped some information last week, and 20 minutes later, Q had dropped it on the board. I was like, wow, because Hulkanator was telling me all about that. And I think it happened twice to him in like the last month or so. So it's really good to see, good people getting queued. And that way, we can know that, these people aren't like agents or anything like that. It's people that we know. So, I doubt that they are, I don't think that thing. And I never thought that held any water, watch this person and we're going to keep highlighting this person. I don't think that holds water at all.
No, I don't really either. Well, the next story I wanted to talk about here, Space Shot, was it's from The Hill. And I guess the FBI found buckets of severed body parts. It was a corpse donation facility where I guess people are donating their bodies to science, and the people there, the people working there, it was like a Frankenstein factory. They were taking people's bodies and sewing them together. Just incredible. Yeah, it was in Arizona, and now it's being sued by the FBI because of just the things that they found there. Just I mean it's a really grisly thing, but it took place in Arizona, and
freaking nuts.
There's a lot of weird stuff. Crazy. A lot of weird stuff happening in Arizona. That's where, you've got the Arizona Mafia. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago here with Jeff Peterson. It's obviously it's a major smuggling route. It seems from the content of the article that these people they're making them out to just kind of have a really sick sense of humor, like there's some like a morbid joke or something. But I can't imagine. I don't know anybody who would think that this would be something fun to do. I think if you find yourself working in a place like this, you've already got to have kind of a certain mindset.
Yeah, it's like an undertaker. People that work at funeral homes, or that's like what the average person would say. From the outward looking in. But remember that Q drop where they had the, and I think this was a foreign country because they were speaking another language, but. You remember the Q drop where they had I guess we could say the results from a Planned Parenthood situation where they actually picked up the little, the deceased baby and basically like played around with it like it was a doll. Like these, if you're doing stuff like that, man, these people don't deserve to be walking free. And I don't care if you're working at a medical facility or whatever, but the fact that somebody could even do that and laugh at it and say, that's a funny thing, or even, try to bring up a funny joke like that. That is like beyond disgusting. These people, Hugh says it, these people are sick, absolutely sick.
Absolutely sick. And Dr. B just said, I saw the Frankenstein body donation place too. It doesn't surprise me at all. Dr. B, when you say that, do you mean that the type of people that would work there, this seems like the kind of thing that they would do? And I'm asking, based on your medical opinion. And Slim1776, very generous donation there, said, don't get caught up on numbers. Look at the overall information the spaceship delivers. Believe in W and research for yourselves. I think that might be believe in Q. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And then Wheezy Girl says, every day here in Arizona, I get news alerts. It's sad. Let's see. Now, we did just actually have a post. We've had a couple of posts recently in regards to Dan Coates. Looks like Dan Coates is going to be going the way of the dodo next week. That's pretty good news. Are you still there, Space Shot?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was doing the red pill vape situation over here. Yeah, but that's exactly why President Trump had to go around him and authorize Bill Barr to be able to get all that information from all the different agencies, because he's obviously not playing ball with Team MAGA. So it's good to see him going. #FlyDanFly. He needs to absolutely go.
Yeah,
that was leaked earlier too.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Back in February, we heard that. So it is a good thing. I'm definitely glad that Coates is going to be out the door. This is going to allow President Trump to put someone in there that he can trust, somebody that can help Bill Barr fulfill the mission, because we are so close to the end here. This is a good time. I also want to say hi to Patriot Lady Biker. I was going to specifically give a prayer request for you tonight because I hadn't heard from you in a while since our last email. So I hope you're doing well, and I hope that everything is working out. The next story that I wanted to talk about here, Space Shot, was that the 16 Marines that were arrested on accusations ranging from human smuggling to drug trafficking. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, and that's, that's basically the faction of these people that would do that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, good people aren't going to be doing that stuff. So hopefully this is part of the cabal, and it's not just some, outside faction by themselves. But, we're seeing results. We're seeing a lot of arrests. And that Disney thing the other day, they were talking about, this executive getting arrested and that executive. I know everybody wants to see, all right, let's get Hillary out of there. Everybody wants to see Hillary and Bill and Soros, but these people that we're seeing, they're not the main people. But it's really good to see that at least we're getting these arrests by these people. I mean, military guys, human trafficking. Obviously, they had to have been getting some sort of help from the military, because I think you covered as well the tail plane number or whatever that Jeffrey Epstein was sharing with another military plane.
Yes, I did.
To access these areres. Crazy,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally crazy. I want to know exactly how they are able to do that. I mean, there must be he must have tremendous resources with people on the inside. And the thing about it is that all of that leaves a paper trail. We are going to find out about those people. Now, before we get into anything more on that, because that's in the next story. We're going to talk about that next. But let's talk in a little more in depth about these Marines. So they were arrested on Thursday. There was 16 of them, and the U.S. Marine Corps said in a press release that they were arrested during a battalion formation at Camp Pendleton in California, of all places. They're all members of the 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, and they rank between E2 and E4, which I guess is private first class to corporal. It looks like they were involved in human smuggling, and they had probably been under observation for quite some time. And then there were an additional 8 Marines who were taken aside for questioning regarding their alleged involvement in drug offenses unrelated to those main arrests. So it looks like Camp Pendleton specifically has some real issues there. Watch California. Definitely watch California. Now, Ida No said, is the Anon game Save the Children real? Names will be interesting. Can you play it while we watch? I don't know. I don't know if it's real. I think that I don't know if that was just a joke that Q was putting out there, or if that was something that was found on the board and someone said they're actually developing it. Have you heard anything about that, Spaceshot?
I think it's what you said at first. I think it's, it was like another game that somebody made, and they were basically just, having a play on words, or not a play on words, but like a play with it, kind of. And, Q later said, it's not funny, but, yeah, we'll put a Punisher face on Pepe there.
Right, right.
Basically, the characters or the lists of people are known, so that's good. Obviously, they have it all. And I was going to say that as well, what you had mentioned, Watch California. Is this part of Watch California? Because that's big. I mean, 16 Marines, is it right? Yeah,
that's right. And then the additional 8. What this really underscores for me is that the cabal is so far-reaching. They have their fingers in literally every pie, and they have infiltrated every single level of every single power structure. So, it's great to see this. Because, as a whole, the Marines, I believe, are very dedicated to the cause, and very dedicated to keeping the United States safe, and to their oath Absolutely. To the United States. Unfortunately, there were a couple of bad apples here, but they were able to get them sorted out. Now, it begs the question, are we going to see any more arrests throughout the armed services before we end up seeing some arrests on the civilian side?
Yeah, and it's funny. Why isn't this thing all wrapped up now? I think it kind of displays how much we've actually grown too. Everybody that's listening and everybody that's making these videos, I think we've grown a lot, because I've said it a few times. Like last April, I was getting fed up. Like, we need to see arrests now. This is ridiculous. Like, what the hell's going on? And then a short while after that, I took a step back and I was like, listen, talking to myself here, right? So
right.
Listen, like, you have this spider web, it comes in from everywhere, and it's not just military, and it's not just human trafficking, and it's not just drugs, it's bribery, it's extortion, it's so many different things in so many different areas. We'd be foolish to think that they could, I would be foolish back then to think that they could have this thing all wrapped up in a year or 6 months. It's going to be a few years anyways till it's all said and done. Right. But I do definitely see some major progress for sure.
I think that you're right. It is going to take some time. But I believe that 2019 is where we're really going to see it kicking off, and we're probably going to see a lot of public things happening just in this year. In my opinion, a majority of it, a lot of it has to take place before 2020, because
Yeah.
The 2020 election cycle is going to have to be kind of cleaned up. I think we're probably going to see the death of the Democratic Party before then. So, they're going to need time to get their candidates together and to get their platform together, because they are going to be completely wiped out.
It's pathetic. The Democratic Party they have nobody that could even come close to beating him right now. And, with that said, I'll make sure I always say, don't take it for granted that they don't have anybody that can go up against him. We need to actually get out and vote and make sure we, show up in numbers and try to even break some records perhaps. But, they are absolutely decimated. And I agree with what you're saying. I've been saying that, I feel like anyway, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I feel like we need to see, on the Anon side, we need to see something major, one major player, a few major players put away before that 2020 election, and something happened with the border wall, because I feel like, even if they don't have anybody great coming after him, they could have a late person installed, like I say like a Michelle Obama or like an Oprah, even though Trump's laughed at that. But I think if we don't see some sort of results, his support could fade a little bit, and because we've hyped all this stuff up, like all these people are going down. And while we do see it, we need to see some people shackled up. And I think it needs to happen before that election.
I agree. I think that we do need to see that happen, and I personally think that it's going to happen. I've said it many times on the program before. We are looking at probably the largest organized criminal organization in the history of the world that is being taken down right now. We've still got all of those sealed indictments. Each one of those is going to have to be unsealed, and it's going to take time. Now, they're not, each one of those, that means that they already have charges brought against these people. But, they also need to make sure that once they arrest these people or once they bring them to trial, that there isn't going to be a power vacuum that just sucks in all of these other terrible people. They have to have people that are ready to fill all of these positions and to kind of take over. So, yeah, they are all organized criminals. That's right. They are organized criminals. Joey Fountain said, "You guys do the research for us. Thank you, mom and wife of soldiers." Well, thank you very much, Joey, for that. I appreciate it. And I am happy to do research, but I want everybody to remember that I am just one man. We can only do so much. So I appreciate the help that I get from everybody here in the audience when it comes down to offering their assistance and doing research. And I know that, Spaceshot, you've got lots of great viewers who like to send you tips as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, isn't that great? And I was actually thinking about it before I was hustling to get on here, and I was literally looking through my emails earlier today, and I was thinking, what a great community we have. We really do have a bunch of great people, and there's so many people out there that want to see this stuff cleaned up, because, I work all day basically and try to put out videos as often as I can, and I do get tons of help. You were sending me information like crazy. I have people, from all over the world sending me information, people that are, all right, New Zealand, people sending me stuff from New Zealand. And it's literally a worldwide effort, because they're seeing what's going on here, and they want to see that, go around the world and clean up their neck of the woods as well. But it's so great to see the amount of support that we receive and people that are just willing to help. Really, I'm like blown away by that, really.
No, I am too. I'm humbled by it on a daily basis. Well, here, let's move on to the next story, because it is about Jeffrey Epstein. The pilots from his plane were just subpoenaed. Spaceshot, this is just incredible news right here, because these pilots are going to be able to verify the stories of the victims in these cases. And they're going to be able to pinpoint and place these famous people that are associated with Epstein and his trafficking ring. And it's going to bring down a lot more people, because I'm sure that Epstein's only going to be willing to say so much. I think he's probably pretty afraid, especially after that attempt on his life the other day.
Oh yes, I got a few questions. How about you bring these people in? Because everybody's saying, these flight logs are fake, they're fake, they're hoaxed. But people have to remember, those flight logs aren't, Jeffrey Epstein's writing or Ghislaine Maxwell. They should be the pilots, right, or the co-pilot. So, all right, hey, sir, did you write this list right here? All right, so you wrote Bill Clinton on that day right there, and Chris Tucker and Kevin Spacey, because they were all three on the same flight at one time.
Yeah.
So you remember that day when these people were here? there any young women on the plane with you that day? Yeah, this is going to open them up to some big problems. And, you know, they need to be put on 24/7 surveillance, like military trusted people to, you know, block these people, because, you know, the Arkansas thing is going to go through the roof even more so than it has. I mean, how many more people can, you know, get hung by a red scarf in the last 2 years? It's been like out of control, you know, so they need to protect these people, and it's going to be all sorts of bad if they start talking.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, I think that these pilots might be looking at some criminal charges themselves, just based upon the fact that it's possible they could have been witnessing some really awful things taking place. I need to say thank you to Slim one more time. He says, I will go broke subscribing and sharing. My Twitter was taken down in a day. 1 day. It's not right. Support these patriots while I run out of money. Methods, shot... I think that's Spaceshot, Stroppy, on and on. They taken 30%. F them. This is too important. Well, thanks again, Slim. I do appreciate that, buddy. It means a lot. Looks like, Roy Davis is in the audience. He says, Tippy Top Mods, thank you guys for your hard work. Where we go one, we go all. Good to see you here, Roy. Roy is always here, man. It's always good to see him. Well, so let's hear in the article, federal prosecutors in Manhattan have subpoenaed Jeffrey Epstein's longtime personal pilots, according to people familiar with the matter, as investigators seek to question the financier's employees in the wake of his indictment on trafficking charges. The grand jury subpoenas were served on the pilots earlier this month after Epstein's arrest on July 6th. Some of the people said Mr. Epstein was arrested at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey after he had returned from Paris on a private jet. Now, a lawyer for one of the pilots confirmed the subpoenas but declined to provide any further details, and it couldn't be determined what information the subpoenas thought. I think that we already know exactly what they're going to be asking. And we don't know how many. We don't know how many pilots there were. I would imagine he had a stable, if you want to put it that way. But you know, they're saying here that this testimony from the pilots could be used by federal investigators in their efforts to corroborate accounts from the accusers. They can also provide details on Mr. Epstein's travels and his associates, like you casually mentioned, Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey. Now, do you know what I just I didn't realize until just recently, but Kevin Spacey had been publicly accused by a woman of abusing men, and she was conveniently run over by a car. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't hear about that. I did hear, though, that his case was dropped, though. The one in, I believe it's the one in Massachusetts, right? So it's kind of weird, right, out of left field.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that either. But, I mean, I guess at this point, I don't know why anything surprises me. You know, we got to be really on the ball. Let's see. Let's see. Somebody's saying to turn up Spaceshot's volume. You guys, Spaceshot, can you give me a mic check so I can check out your levels? I think you're on mute again, buddy.
No, I'm not. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You caught me. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
All right, guys.
Out there, guys. 5x5.
Yeah, give us a 5x5 if Spaceshot sounds better, you guys. All right, so looking forward to seeing exactly what comes out of this. I can only imagine that these pilots are going to have some really, really damning information. Let's see. Bruce Popkin said, Omar Qatar collusion on Twitter, Imam of Peace. Yeah, actually, I did see that earlier. We might get to that if we have time here in a minute. Brian Laurie says, thank you for all you do. Thank you both for those super chats. And then Jen Cree said, oh my God, did you see what is happening with Ilhan Omar and the Imam of Peace, Imam Tawhidi? Omar, Talib, and Sarsour are working with Qatar. You need to watch John Ward's latest video on YouTube. Okay. Patriot Lady Biker says your sound is still low. I'm going to turn him up just a little bit more, you guys. I didn't want to put him into... Oh, it says we're both crackling. I don't know why it's crackling. Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe YouTube's playing some games.
Yeah, I think so. I think YouTube must be playing games. All right, so let's see here. Any news on Epstein that you found out recently? Anything you wanted to share?
No, I was just going through the Q drops and whatnot, but I found it interesting that, you know, in the article they were talking about he had possibly been attacked and then possibly a suicide attempt. And you know, me, Red Pill, I don't ever say, oh, I have a source that said this, or I know a top guy, inside guy. But there's a person that I know. That's all I'm going to say is that I trust this person very much so. And they have a cousin that works in that facility that says he was attacked by another inmate. And then after they were separated, he attempted the suicide. But I guess the feeling there was that, they think it was like a staged suicide thing, maybe something to, maybe get him some bail or something like that. And, they all seem to think that, they don't think he would actually do it. They don't think he has the grapes to do it. But, I mean, hey, he might be looking at, never getting out of jail again. I saw an interesting piece with Kennedy from Fox. She was on Fox News last night, and she had another attorney on there, and he was talking about the conviction rate of federal crimes. And he said it's like 97% of the people plead guilty. And then what happens is the conviction rate is almost 100% because they always have their ducks in a row. And unlike state and local, who kind of like to roll the dice a little bit, they always, you'll have to go through a grand jury, most times, and they always make sure they have their ducks in a row. But he said that the conviction rate is damn near 100%. So he doesn't foresee Epstein ever seeing the light of day again, which I'm loving that.
No, I'd have to agree. I don't think that he's ever going to get out. I don't think that he's safe in prison either. I think that he's going to have to stay in solitary confinement for the rest of his life. And I really think that it was a hit job. I do not believe that he would try to kill himself, especially with the fact that he was trying to get out. I just don't see it happening. Well, I do have the thread pulled up here from Imam Mohammed Tawhidi. Says this thread will be one of the most important threads I make on Twitter. The illegal case behind this will be exposed with full transparency and full details. For now, I direct the following information to real Donald Trump, Vice President Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr., Sean Hannity. I have sources for what I will say, and they are rock solid, authentic. Many officials will criticize me for making this public, but I have a duty to do so. The public needs to know. I understand the potential consequences of this thread, and I accept them. I am willing to go to the fullest extent with this matter, even if I am required to testify in Congress. This is the beginning of the uncovering of what could be a giant scandal. The sensitive details of this matter will be shared in private upon request. A congresswoman is communicating indirectly through an individual with Qatar. The people she was talking to are a group close to Emir Tamim bin Hamad, and they involve some other names and company. This congresswoman has confirmed to the above group of Qataris that the recent investigations into her case will not end well for her. They also fear that she's in trouble. Now they are coming after several people. I am one of those people, and their plan is as follows. This congresswoman told the group of Qatari officials who have invested in her that Speaker Pelosi is happy that she is being investigated because recently they had rebelled against her. Also, she hates the pressure coming onto the party because of her. The plan of this congresswoman is to make all of this go away and strike a deal with Speaker Pelosi to put her cases aside. If she puts the case of this congresswoman aside and ignores it, this is Qatar's goal in D.C. with regards to this congresswoman. This congresswoman, along with a Palestinian female activist from Brooklyn, New York, agreed on diverting the attention by planning to seek the assistance of The Intercept, Al Jazeera, and the Middle Easy Eye to fabricate the following scandal. They want to claim that all of those criticizing this particular congresswoman are paid by Saudis and the UAE, and that it is a collusion against the congresswoman. They are planning on separating me and Adel Naz in one case and Donald Trump Jr. and the UAE in another. The reason they chose Adel Naz, out of all people who criticize this congresswoman, it is because of her work pics with Vice President Mike Pence and to show them in the fabricated articles. Their basis for this would be Qatari officials said so, when it is all false information. The congresswoman in question tried to get me to say that I am being funded by the UAE and Saudi Arabia to smear me and to then turn it into an international issue. I have the full text from her middle person sent here through a leak, and she knows this is not the first leak. Dear Imam Tawhidi, I'm going to get this bigger. This is an email from office. No, it doesn't show the email it's coming from. I am blank and wanted to share with you important information that I was made aware of. Redacted has forwarded a secret request to the Qatari government via a redaction businessman seeking their help to fabricate information that would discredit your reputation using Qatari-controlled and funded media outlets in the U.S. and U.K. The secret request was delivered during a private meeting in Manhattan between the blank businessman and Qatari Sheikh blank, and then it has another name, email. The Qatari government has accepted this request and promised to implement it very soon. Given the sensitive nature of my position, they asked to remain anonymous. Okay, so let me close that and finish the thread. They want to accuse Saudi Arabia and the UAE of operating in D.C. to smear her and accuse me, Donald Trump Jr., and others who have come after her, such as Tom Fitton, of being part of an international operation collusion in America. Tom Fitton. And as for the Palestinian female activist from Brooklyn, I recently reached out to her for a reason. I can confirm that she immediately showed my message to Qatar, and she is in on this too, and she will be running for Congress, and they want to protect her too. As for the wider plot by those individuals, it is to try and turn Jared Kushner against Donald Trump Jr., and I can also confirm with my sources that Qatar did, in fact, give information to Mueller and helped him out, unlike what they said here. Qatar, no contact with Mueller's team over Jared Kushner. When the first leak came to me, I forwarded it to a Qatari diplomat in D.C. to show him that I am onto him and the congresswoman and the Manhattan businessman and the mentioned group of Qataris. Now, before we go on, Qatar, wasn't there an ambassador to Qatar who was in the news maybe a year ago for hosting parties at the Qatari embassy? I believe that this was covered on George Webb's channel. Maybe it was 2017, but there was a Qatar. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I
do remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
Something about Qatar.
Yeah. All right. So more has been happening behind the scenes, and other people are also involved, and I know them one by one. I have made initial contact to pass on all details and materials to the concerned governments and their intelligence agencies through a lawyer. This is the first part of this thread. If the Qataris and this congresswoman go ahead with this plan, either by the aforementioned news agencies or others funded... oh, shoot. I accidentally clicked on that. I will release more information. Qataris don't want investigated. Jamal Khashoggi. Oh my gosh, this is getting good. As for the full case, I am documenting it, and I want to expose it all at the very end. You cannot frame me, you fool. You'd be framing yourself. No need to trap Mrs. Mole. She will fall into it by herself. You can't help it, can you? Keep digging. Can't wait for you to see me testify in Congress. End of part 1 of this thread. For transparency, I say that I have made personal decisions at the moment that concern me alone and nobody else. I will make these matters public in the near future. When I do, I will quote retweet this tweet for context. Never fear tyrant governments. Fool and expose them instead. Holy jeez, this is clearly... Wow.
Now, who is
dude.
that? That's the tweet.
This is the Imam of Peace. I'm going to be tweeting it out right now. I just retweeted it, and it's been retweeted 22.2 thousand times and liked 28,000 times. Wow.
Now, what was the beginning? It was talking about the country that funds her.
Yeah, that's Qatar. It's saying that it's Qatar. Yeah.
Man.
You guys.
Sickening.
Just for everybody in the chat, I'm going to be putting this into the chat so you can go ahead and check out that tweet yourself and go ahead and share it widely. I'm going to follow him now, and I'm going to put on notifications for the Imam of Peace. That is great. Oh my gosh.
So he's doing it basically like an anonymous person. That's what he's going by, that name, but obviously he's probably from that area.
Okay. Oh, hey, you know what? Would you mind if I bring Thomas into this conversation? Because there was an article that I wanted to cover next that was about him. But yeah, he's doing
more the merrier, man.
Yeah, he's doing it not as an anonymous person, but as a. He's saying it's him, but it's definitely Ilhan Omar that he's talking about. Let's see. If somebody says they want to contact me, you guys can always look in the description of the videos below. My email is in there. It's redpill78@protonmail.com. Let's go ahead and bring Thomas into the conversation. True reporting. There we go. Add. All right, calling True Reporting.
Yeah, she's got a lot of questions. A lot of questions with this bird.
All right. Thomas, are you there?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, thank you so much for taking the call. Thomas, we are live on the air right now with Spaceshot76 and a room full of 2,523 of our closest friends. Please say hello.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Space Shot, good to have you aboard, and it's good to be a part of this get-together.
What's up, brother? Good to hear you, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So, well, like I said, thank you for staying up. Thank you for taking the call. Thomas, I wanted to bring you in on this article specifically because it's written about you. Everybody can see on the screen right now, we've got an article from the Huffington Post where they are bemoaning the fact that they are failing miserably to rein in what they call conspiracy theory content. YouTube's plan to rein in conspiracy theories is failing. Wow. Thomas, this is just incredible because it involves you. There's also, they talk about Just Informed Talk a little bit. They also talk about Gary Franchi from TRUReporting. And then they talk
Next News Network.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. From Next News Network. Sorry, buddy.
There you go. You're good.
And, and they talk about a couple of smaller channels as well. But, basically the idea is that, they're talking about how they changed the algorithm. They very openly say that they wanted to, squeeze out channels that talked about what they're calling conspiracy content. After reading this article, after seeing this, what's been the reception that you've gotten? Has it caused any issues? Have you gotten anyone contacting you to talk about further interviews, anything like that?
Okay, yeah, so I've had about, I'd probably say 24 hours to think this over. At first, I would say that it was kind of flattering. Like, I was like, this is really cool. This is exposure. It's very cool when you see your name in something like that. That's a huge, from our point of view, that's a huge fake news source that a lot of people see, And as the day went on, it became quite unnerving, to say the least. I've been kind of, I've uploaded a couple of videos today, and I've just kind of kept close watch on my YouTube channel just because I know what they're capable of. The beginning, I'd probably say maybe 3 months ago, actually it was more about 5 months ago, my entire channel got demonetized.
Right.
I just went on one day, and every 400 videos of mine were completely demonetized. They weren't even allowed to make any kind of income. So it is. I know what they're capable of doing. Can they do it again? Absolutely. They could happen to any of us, to be honest. Right. But we're here standing strong, and and another thing, I think that the article does demonstrate that, hey, they don't know what to do. The channel, the numbers are growing. I think I saw Jordan Sather put out a tweet today saying that over 30% of Americans, it might even have been worldwide, believe in Q. Right. And some people thought that, hey, I think it's more than that, or they kind of, didn't really give it a lot of credit. 30%. That's a ton of people, man. That's a lot of people.
That's a huge number of people. If that's worldwide, then we're talking, billions of people.
Yeah. All I know is that at first it was flattering. Secondly, it became very unnerving. I'm pretty much kind of watching it now. I'm more relaxed about it.
Yeah.
I know Just Informed Talk definitely got hit like I got hit. I sent him a tweet today. I said, I really hope things work out for you. And that just keep contacting YouTube. Get to the bottom of this, and hopefully they'll work with you. We will see. We shall see.
Right. Well, I mean, what really, got me worked up when I first saw this is, first of all, it's a good thing that they realize that they're losing this information war. But what scared me was, I thought immediately about Carlos Maza. And when he wrote that hit piece and went after Steven Crowder, and they demonetized Steven Crowder's channel the next day. Now, when we spoke about this last night, I told you that they had taken away Just Informed Talk's monetization. I mean, I didn't realize that this article had been written. I had only heard that he had been, hit by YouTube. But, yes. So it's a very scary thing, I mean, we're out there putting our necks on the line. So I know that yes. we all realize that this is something that can happen, and it's happened to each one of us in some capacity. But
oh yeah,
You know, I mean, I think that, you know, another thing about it though is that we're all very careful with the way that we talk about this stuff. You know,
you have to be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a way to get the message out without completely skirting or going over the lines that YouTube has kind of set up for us arbitrarily. And they, you know, and they don't enforce it for, you know, for everyone equally. But, you know, I mean, I get a lot of flack from people, you know, it's not, you know, I'm not going to say a lot. I get flack from some people for trying to go around those barriers that we have set up for us. But, yes. You know, but I mean, you know, what's most important to me is being able to have the platform and come to people and bring them this information. You know, I mean, I'm not going to change the way that I do things because somebody wants me to say a particular word or somebody wants me to present information in the way that they want me to present it. You know, you can start your own YouTube channel. That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I've gotten here to this point because I've been able to bring information to people in a manner in which is, you know, digestible and you know, you can spread it. You know, I mean, I want a family-friendly show. You know, it's unfortunate that we are dealing with such heavy subjects, but you know, there's a way to do it, and I think that we all do that, you know, in a really good way. So, you know, much props to both you and Spaceshot and Thomas. You know, I'm going to say it both. But,
yeah, Red Pill. I just want to touch on that really quickly. I experienced the exact same thing. I saw Justin Form's video as well, and I want to say like last August or so, same exact thing happened to me. You know, once I got up to about 50,000-60,000 subscribers, they were hit me, I don't know, every few videos would be like, is not suitable for all audiences. Then around the time I mentioned, I woke up the next day and I go down and look, and every single one of my videos, even the ones that have been appealed already in my favor, saying somebody looked at them and said they were okay, they were all cut over to not suitable for all audiences overnight. And, you know, what I found most disgusting is, I think in that article it says, Thomas, by the way, can I have a loan? Because it's saying you're making like $80,000 a year. Like,
oh yeah.
And I want everybody out there to know that is beyond ridiculous. That would be if his channel was completely monetized, if he had like 8 commercials on every video, and if he's getting no commercials, or if he's even getting, like, you know, he's obviously getting what we're getting, the not suitable for all audiences. What they're doing is they go to a place, that Social Blade website, and it says, oh, this person's making between this much and that much. And that's exactly what it said. As soon as I saw that report, I went to Social Blade and I put Thomas's thing in, and it said, oh, he could be making from $3,000 a year to $75,000. So what did they put in that article? This guy's out there talking crap about Hillary Clinton, and he's making $75,000 a year. Yeah, okay. In a perfect world, maybe, right?
Right.
So it's just beyond ridiculous. And you're right, you know, we have to kind of do it, and we are a family, you know, show here. And I know a lot of people listen, you know, even with their whole family and children. So it's a lot of times I'll tell them, like, you know, guys, earmuffs, you know, kids away from the radio for the next 2 minutes, you know.
I would like to say something real quick, and I think it's very important. I know I don't want to hog y'all's interview. I really don't. But there's a problem that people talk about when I mention, hey, I always say in every video, do you see YouTube ads? I just want to know. And people say, they throw out the word Patriots, P-A-Y. And Red Pill, you mentioned earlier, like, you know, I want to get the truth out there. This is what I want to do. I need to get the truth out there. More importantly, you want to put food in your stomach too. You want to take care of your kids. You want to take care of your girlfriend. You want to take care of your family, man. And to be called a patriot by some of these people, some of them aren't shills. But as soon as I ask, hey, you know, you could donate to the super chat, or you can just let me know if there's YouTube ads, or I have merch, I get hit with this. So not only are we walking a fine line with censorship, we're also walking an extremely fine line of people saying, what are you doing this for, right? I do this for absolutely to get the truth out, but I have to do this too to pay my rent, to pay my car insurance, to put food in my stomach. I have a 7-year-old. You know, we're walking 2 very thin lines. People don't know the stress that we get under, man.
Oh yeah.
But for all of us, everybody, I think there's like at least 25 channels that are covering this daily, And people don't understand the stress. They really don't. You know, Red Pill, we talk about this a lot, man.
Yep.
How this is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week gig.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's
tough.
You know, I mean, it's always funny to me when, you know, when people say something like that, but yet at the same time, they want to watch quality programming. You know, they want to watch an alternative to network television, and you know, the only way to do that is with high production values and to put a lot of time and effort into this. You know, I mean, like, this is, you know, I mean, what really angers me about it is that, you know, none of my videos are monetized, you guys. You know, I mean, it's been a long time since YouTube has approved any of my videos, but people will tell me all the time that they actually are watching commercials on my videos that YouTube is putting in there because they know that people are watching my videos, but they're not monetized. So it's very frustrating to watch this happen. You know, because I do put so many hours of blood, sweat, and tears into this. It's a labor of love, you know, I'm not going to lie. I am very blessed to be here and to be able to hang out with everybody. And I've gained, you know, some of the best friends in my entire life, you guys. I love both of you, and we are a family. We are a family as far as I'm concerned.
I've met some of the best people out
I couldn't
here.
agree more with that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I couldn't agree with that more, dude.
Real quick, you guys, speaking of those super chats, I need to say thank you to a couple of people. Slim1776, again, man, thank you so much, brother. Spread it. Show some love, he says. Thank you so much. White Hat says, keep your chin up, fellas. Antitrust and Internet Bill of Rights will eventually get here. Keep fighting. It's making its rounds all over the world. That's right. It is. It is making its rounds, and I think it's going to get here eventually. My only hope is that we can outlive it until it gets here. Lorraine B says, love you both. I'm sure you meant all three of us, or maybe that was before Thomas was on the line. Marine Mom here. The Marines arrested will be dealt with. Their remaining time will be like no hell you could ever imagine by their peers with a dishonorable discharge. Zero excuse reason for this conduct. Absolutely agree. Joanne Fink, thank you very much for that super chat. And Joanne, you wrote 20. I don't know if you meant to donate 20, but if you did and you're on mobile, there's a slider and you slide it over to the right until it's whatever you want it to be. Then Jersey Linda says, so love you. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that as well. And then Mirka says, nothing wrong with making a living. It's called capitalism. That's right.
Hey, I like that.
Yes, this is America, you guys, and we have to make money to live. If all of us were doing, you know, free work, then we would be living in the socialist hell that the squad wants us to live in.
Hey, yeah, and guys, how about this one too? My videos, I would say, usually the shortest videos I put out is about 20 minutes. Sometimes they're 40 or 50 minutes, and you have people complaining about a 30-second video, 30-second commercial video. So it's like, all right, if you want to go watch Fox, you're going to get hit with a 2.5-minute commercial every friggin' 5 minutes. And furthermore, that whole Patriot thing was made by people that are trying to divide our movement. Because
100%, I agree with that.
It's so clear because they were talking about Alex Jones and Jerome Corsi, who are now kind of trying to weasel their way back in. Alex Jones, I think I was wrong about Q. And there was a couple different Qs along the line, but the real Q's back. No. There's always only been one Q, and that's it. But they were saying Patriot, and somebody said something along the lines of, it was an anon that said, I wouldn't say people couldn't make money covering Q, but it's when they try to subvert the movement is when it becomes an issue. And Q had highlighted that post, which means, hey, everybody, read this. So clearly they were talking about Corsi and Alex Jones, but somehow these people that are trying to divide our movement, which is obviously the bad guys, they don't want to see unity at all. So, you know, 40-minute video, 30-second commercial, please.
I agree. Now, a comment from Charles. He says, Patriot is like saying conspiracy theory or calling a healer a quack. It's okay to be a capitalist entrepreneur. Thank you so much, Charles. I agree. And then also, Richard Hansen gave a super chat and just said 17. He wanted to give $17, but he gave 20. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. All right. Well, listen, Thomas, I don't want to keep any longer, buddy. I know that you were staying up to talk with us. Do you want to leave us with anything before you say goodnight?
Yes, I would like to say that you can follow me on Twitter. Please follow me. We hit a big number. We just about to hit 14,000. And you can follow me at TRUReporting. Follow me on YouTube, TRUReporting. There's merch out there. This is how I make a living. This is how I, pay my rent, so on and so forth. And don't let people discourage you. Spaceshot said it the best. I believe he mentioned a lot about unity. Don't let people divide you. Use your own discernment. Use your own logic, and just be loving to each other, man. Enough with just be an adult about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what I got. It's my 2 cents.
Exactly.
Now, somebody actually said, I watch the commercials, but I'm not going to if he doesn't get paid. You know, here's the thing. There are some older videos that are still monetized, or sometimes YouTube will go back and they will monetize a video later on, like they'll have like second thoughts about it. But what all you need to do, you don't have to watch an entire commercial, you guys. All you need to do is watch what they consider to be a significant portion of the commercial. So that would go beyond the point at which they tell you that you can skip it.
Correct.
Let's say, so if it's a minute video or a minute commercial and you watch the first like 20 seconds of it, then they still count that as watching it. So, you know, here's the thing. You know, the YouTube has 2 different levels. They have what they consider, you know, something that could not be monetized for all advertisers. Which means that they might still play smaller advertisers on there. Okay, so you know we do get credit for those, but then yes. You know, but when a video is fully monetized, which is going to be something like Fox News, ABC News, you know, that's when that's when you see those the actual full monetization. But and you know, and that's the mainstream media. They always do that. So what they've done is they have allowed people like us to make a much smaller portion of the revenue. You know, I mean, here's the thing is that people want to advertise on YouTube. I know that people want to advertise on shows like ours here. You know, so, you know, please, you know, you don't have to watch the whole commercial, but if there is a commercial, then, you know, go ahead and watch just a short amount of it. And if you don't watch the commercial, then that's okay too. I mean, I just want to make sure everybody knows how it works. I do need to say a couple of couple thank yous. Let's see. Eddie Mitchell, thank you for that super chat. Jen Fair, thank you very much. She says, God bless President Trump. Northwest Sunshine Patriot says, Red Pill has blessed our family, sending much love. Spaceshot and Thomas are awesome patriots. Thank you very much for that generous donation.
Thank you.
Bullwinkle says, mainstream media shills get paid
Thanks.
Millions. Haters can watch them if they wish. That's a great point. Thank you. And then Tectra TA says, you 3 are real American patriots. God bless you all. Please pray for GVE and POTUS and the beautiful planet we call Earth. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that, guys. I appreciate all the love. You know, I mean, I wasn't even planning on talking about this tonight, but, you know, I mean, I'm glad that we did because it's something that's important, you know. I mean, I love supporting people in this movement. You know, I've often said what we need is some kind of, you know, like an Angie's List for conservative patriots, people who are business owners, people who are entrepreneurs in our movement, who we can refer each other to. You know, so like, you know, you know, if we got any web designers out there, I used to be a web designer, so this is something that I wanted to do previously, but, you know, if anybody is out there that can help us with this, I think it's a great idea because I know that there are so many people out there who provide services in their communities, and maybe you're like me. Maybe you had a business and you lost it because you came out as a conservative. I mean, I think that's why it's even more important for us to be able to have a resource to connect with each other and to help each other. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Spaceshot. Yeah, go.
I'll really quickly. I agree with that, and it's funny you mentioned that. Dustin Nemos has actually reached out to me, and he's actually doing that. He's putting a bunch of conservative business owners, companies together, and you're gonna love that. I love the name of what he's gonna do. He said he wants to take down Amazon, and he wants to make this company where everybody can buy, you know, anything you're ever gonna need, but purchased only from conservatives, and he wants to call it Magazon. You gotta love that.
That is a pretty good idea.
I'd love to see that come to fruition. And just really quickly touching on that last thing. My favorite one is when they demonetize your video and say that, you know, it's no good. And then, when you use a clip of somebody's video. So a 40-minute video, I might use a clip of, say, BBC or something like that. And they completely demonetize your channel and they say it's not suitable for all audiences. But guess what? They throw commercials on it because it defaults back to the person in which you use their 10-second clip.
Yes.
They completely demonetize your video. So you make absolutely nothing on it, and then BBC gets revenue for that video, even if it's a 40-minute video and you use 10 seconds of it. So yeah, crazy.
That's happened to me more than a few times. You know, and I just want to mention, all three of us have our own merchandise shops. I know that in my videos, the link to my t-shirt shop, there's also, you know, all kinds of stuff there. That'll always be in the description. I know that Spaceshot and Thomas at TRUReporting, they all have the exact same things. So you can go ahead.
Shout out to Bree.
Yeah,
shout out to Bree.
Bree is an amazing graphic designer and artist, you guys, and she is now available for other patriots, people who have their own businesses that they want to go ahead and promote and make their own merchandise for. So by all means, you can reach out to her at any time. I know that she is somebody who does excellent work. I can vouch for that.
Yes, I concur.
Yeah, all of my videos that you see, all of those awesome graphics, those are all made by Bree, and she does a super job. And I'll tell you what, she's always ahead of the schedule too, always on point, and really great designs.
Can I ask something real quick? Did you have was Methods on tonight?
Yeah, Methods no? Methods is on tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Okay, nice. I'm just we're like having a regular conversation. I'm sorry.
It's no problem. It's no problem. Yeah. All right. Well, listen. We have a couple more super chats real quick. Joanne Fink said, "I got it. Thanks for all you do." CWP24 from Twitch said, "I've heard that YouTube will put ads on the videos and they get the revenue from the videos, but the creator doesn't, which is messed up. These tech giants deserve the probe that they are in right now." That's right. That is something that they do, but I mean, the thing is, you never know when that is the case. I mean, sometimes they may be giving us the credit for it, and then other times they may not. So, I mean, I just make a habit. If I see commercials on a channel that I like, I'll go ahead and watch the commercials. I mean, I just feel like it's the right thing to do because I know that,
yes.
I mean, that's just me, but I'm not gonna tell anybody else that they have to do that. I mean, whatever is in your heart, you guys. All right. Well, listen, Thomas, I'm gonna say you go ahead and get off the phone, bud, because we've got just a couple more stories I want to touch on real quickly. But thanks for answering the phone, dude. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, gentlemen, and everyone out there. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Right, peace. Bye-bye.
Good talking to you, man.
You too.
Yeah, Thomas is great. So, you guys can check out this story. I'm actually going to drop this in the chat box so that you guys can check it out because, it really highlights the terror that these people are feeling. This is the kind of thing that they're doing. They grasp at straws. They want to destroy people. They want to destroy people like us because we are successful in our field and we are effective. Okay, so this is great. Did you hear about this, Spaceshot? They found the White House visitor logs from the early 1990s, and guess who was on them when Bill Clinton was in the White House? Jeffrey Epstein.
No. Oh, no.
Totally.
I don't know him.
Totally contradicting Bill Clinton's claims. So he visited the White House.
And how?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how timely was that? He got arrested on Saturday night, right? Coming back into Teterboro Airport. Yep. And Bill Clinton had a friggin' prepared statement on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
You knew that was coming. Get ahead of the curve, buddy. But now we know you're lying. Well, we already knew you were lying, but now we have it confirmed.
Yep, exactly. I'm sure that he had it prepared months in advance because he must have known that this was going to happen. So let's see here. Let's see how many times. So he said that initially they had encounters in 2002 and 2003 and that his Secret Service agents were with him. But this is actually reporting from the Daily Beast. They found out that he has had ties for far longer. As early as 1993, Epstein donated $10,000 to the White House Historical Association and attended a donors reception hosted by Bill and Hillary. And around the same time, according to a source familiar with the connection, Epstein visited presidential aide Mark Middleton several times at the White House. 2 years later, businesswoman Lynn Forrester de Rothschild wrote a personal letter to Clinton thanking him for their talk about the financier. And in late September of 93, Bill and Hillary hosted a reception for supporters who had contributed to the recent White House renovations. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein was among the people who were invited to the White House.
Nope, I don't know the guy. I never met him. Sorry.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, okay, pal.
Vigilant Blade, thanks for that super chat. And then Newly Enlightened says, we need magnetized Q signs for our cars, Bree. Bree, I think that's a great idea. I would love that. Now, let's see. The Nick Sandmann lawsuit was tossed out by a federal judge. Did you hear about this?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It was from a Jimmy Carter appointee. Dismissed the Covington Catholic School Nick Sandmann's lawsuit against the Washington Post. Oh, let's see. He heard oral arguments earlier this month. He issued the ruling on Friday. Nick, what were the reasons? From our first story of this incident to our last, we sought to report fairly and accurately the facts that could be established. Now, this is from the Washington Post. Let's see. I want to see the reason why. Says that filed in the U.S. District Court. No, that is from the lawsuit. It doesn't say why. It doesn't say why. I mean,
it was clear, dude, that he was getting slandered big time. They were calling him a racist. I mean, how much more clear can it get? All you need to do is, DVR that crap. He was all over the news. Yeah, no, I think that this is a really, really unfair decision. I'm hoping that there's something they can do. Gosh. Nick Sandmann, I mean, he's going to live the rest of his life with the impact of this event taking place. I mean, he was clearly pilloried in the press. This was the thing, though. This is only against the Washington Post. The Washington Post was not the only outlet that smeared him. So maybe there is some hope, and I'm sure that they can appeal this ruling. Oh, they need to. And I actually thought in the beginning, like when I first saw that story, I saw that look, and everybody was calling him like, look at the smug look, the way he's looking at that guy, Mm-hmm. And after you see the interview the next day when he's being interviewed, I forgot the lady that did it, but
yep,
you can tell that look was not a look of smugness. It was a look of just cringe. He was cringe. He had this guy banging a thing in his face. He was kind of trying to smile, and then he was kind of nervous. So it was not a smug thing. But yeah, man, they libeled the crap out of that kid. They slandered the crap out of him for sure. Now, someone in the chat just said that the Post did not use his name, and that's why it was thrown out against the Post. Now, if that's the reason, the First Amendment was why it was tossed. Texas Girl USA said it was the First Amendment. Well, I think that there's a lot of other people that definitely had Nick Sandmann's name in their mouths and said some terrible things. I mean, I don't know. I guess, man, I'm just kind of at a loss because the First Amendment's one thing, but slander and libel is another. It does say the First Amendment, Vigilant Blade. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to skim it to get to the good parts. Well, and anyways, guys, we are at the midnight hour. It is, it's time for the show to end. Don't miss the show tomorrow. We're going to have Methods on the program. Methods, thank you so much, buddy. I cannot wait to see you here tomorrow. This is going to be a great interview. And then after that, we're going to have the return of Jason Was a Gentile for his normal monthly appearance. I think he might have a song that he's going to be dropping. We'll see. Spaceshot, thank you for being here, my friend. Is there anything that you want to leave us with? Oh, no, I appreciate you having me on, brother. Anytime, I'm only a phone call away, and I'm usually available on your show times. The later, the better, of course. And I can't wait to hear Mr. Methods as well. And I'm coming at you, Mr. Method. You're going to come on my show one of these days. I'm sure he will. I'm sure we will. And then I also want to ask specifically for prayers for my friend Juliet's thoughts, as well as prayers for my friend Terry, and specifically as well, Patriot Lady Biker. All right, you guys, I want to thank everyone for joining us. We do have a couple more thank yous before we go. Gregory Klagenberg, thanks for all you do, Red Pill and Spaceshot76 and Cvine News. All three of us do appreciate that. And then CPW24 from Twitch. I think the judge is part of the deep state. I think that you're probably right there. All right, as always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector with Spaceshot76. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.